everyone. My name is Gorazd Čad and I'm editor-in-chief of Congress magazine. Joining me today is Boštjan Prijanovič, from New Moment New Ideas Company. 4 weeks have passed since the award ceremony and the announcement of the Conventa Best Event Awards 2021 finalists. While the competition is over, memories from the event still resonate among the professional and wider public. As Boštjan Agency is one of the winners of the competition, we will talk to him about the importance of the award and awards itself. Feel free to join the debate anytime by raising your hand and we will enable your microphone. The event will take around 20 to 25 minutes and we will do our best to provide you with as much interesting information as possible. And my first question to you, Boštjan, is what were the key achievements and small successes along the way that lead you to where you are today?
Whoa. So we are talking about last 50 years, yeah?
Yes.
I don't know, it's hard to say, but maybe I'm kind of into this business, not in purpose. It was not, like a wish from the youngster Boštjan to be part of a communication club, but it was kind of accident, I would say, that happened, and I'm always very, very relaxed in a way. No, maybe this is the key. Mm-hmm. I'm not very ambitious man.
So it was not a straight road to success. It was more,
yes. Probably because because I don't do things in panic. I'm a little bit casual about stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I'm not eager. And when you have this environment when there's some sense of pressure, of course, the sense of ambition, but not too much. People are working easier. People are working in more motivational environment, and not such a too much pressure on them. I think this could be the key. Mm-hmm. Maybe.
And what have been your experiences with I don't know, like Lions Awards or whatever, all the marketing awards around us, and what is your opinion about that? About the awards itself?
Yes. Because, when I started in advertising, there was only advertising festivals, yeah.
Yep.
And of course, the whole focus was on print ad and on television. That was the key. If you won the best print ad, and of course, even much better, the best TV ad, that was Grand Prix, that was everything, that was the main fame. That was Gold Olympic. And but the thing is that in those times you had fewer media, fewer channels, fewer touch points, and this whole industry is much more developed and in much more different communication channels, and those channels, the let's say new ones, but they are not new, that they are here forever, but let's say new, they didn't have much chance on those festivals. So even now, when those best festivals like Cannes Lions are much more developed and diversified, there's a still main focus on TV ad from Nike, yeah? Mm-hmm. And I think that very good trend in the industry are those specialized festivals, and it works for events, and it works for digital, and it works for PR, and the whole communication methods and projects. They were a little bit off the light in those main advertising festivals. Mm-hmm. For example, in small Slovenia, you have 2 strong digital festivals, which tells you everything. Before that, the digital, the differentiation of digital campaigns is so much that even in digital channels, you have to do very good the categories, the different kinds of ideas that you can judge well. Mm-hmm. I was jury in 3 digital festivals, mm-hmm. And if you have digital campaigns inside the big advertising festivals, it's all kind of lost. There's no focus, and with the events, it's exactly the same. On the main advertising festivals, events were always kind of lost because jury compelled with so many different types of advertising just overlooked the deeper meaning of this one-to-one connection with partners, consumers, whatever.
I totally agree. But if you compare Slovenian marketing industry, if I can name it like that, with the global marketing industry, where we are today, so what is your opinion? Are we competitive to those, the best from the?
Well, I think we are where you expect us to be. You know, we are kind of Milano inside the Italy. And this is very optimistic. Maybe Pesano.
Very good answer. Definitely
but,
like it.
You know, I think that we started with wanted to be similar to Western Europe and Northern America.
Yeah.
Then, in a way, we have realized that this our Western Balkans potential is maybe more interesting than just copy guys who started a few decades before us. And I think now it's quite good mix. I think it's very interesting in a way. You can find very good ideas, you can find bad ideas, you have ambitious clients, not so ambitious clients. I think in general it's quite similar. The only thing is that the market is small and you have all problems starting for that. Too fewer people, too smaller agencies, too smaller budget, stuff like that. But you know, it's something to be expected because of the size of the market. But otherwise, I think it's maybe more in the last few years. It's more interesting and more developing than decade before, because I think that we needed sometimes to adapt to trends. And now with the new generation coming into business, I think that quite interesting things is happening, especially those guys 25, 30 years old, which are not coming to old agencies as us, but starting their own businesses, and interesting stuff is going on.
Yeah, and what do you think? I will jump directly to what we are doing. What do you think about the Conventa Best Event Award? You already mentioned that you like these specialized awards, and where do you see it's going in the future? So we cover actually so-called New Europe. Ne? We borrowed this from Eurapi, you know, this term. So.
Well, I think it's a very good thing. I think it's very courageous. You show very much of courage to start something like that, because it's a, you know, it's not a big market and it's not a big part of advertising. But for the other side, you have involved this industry which is not connected to advertising, hotels, mise industry, and I think it's very interesting because it's one of the rare events that connects advertising marketing with industry which is some kind connected, but not really. It doesn't happen on other festivals. And I think it's for us from marketing, from advertising, it's a very interesting experience to see what is going on. And from them, I think also. But the main thing is that I like the idea of specialized festivals, because we do a lot of very good events, I would like to say, and of course lots of very average events. And before Conventa, we didn't have any place to measure us. Nothing to compare, basically.
And you win twice, actually, so that's important. Yes.
Win twice out of 2 projects.
Yeah, really great projects.
We are 100% successful.
Definitely. One comment from yesterday's roundtable. I was there, you know, yesterday with one techno company, and of course they are obsessed. These technology companies or digital technology companies with the revolution they are doing. You know, what is your opinion about that? I will just say as a startup that I said that I still see all these digital tools as tools, not as a. What is your opinion?
I'm on your side totally. I think that a lot of digital companies who comes to advertising ignore the the substance of advertising and marketing, and they are focused just on the tool. And of course, it's problem which you can expect basically, because everything is going to digital, but still the content is the same, and the brand is the same, the people are the same, and the story is the same, and the message that brands compels is the same. So the perfect attitude is if you embrace the technology and understand that you cannot forget all the knowledge and the know-how of the old times, if you say. But it's a process, I think, and I can see, especially with digital media buying, it's quite interesting to compare 5 or 10 years ago and now, when there are two major basically ideas. One is about what I and you believe, and the other is I would call it programmatic way. So everything can be done with AI and programmatic tools and stuff like that, which I don't buy at all. But okay, as I said, it's a process, and I think as all things comes to the business in few years, they find their own place.
Yeah, I think you showed us, how to do this. You are talking about. But what do you think? Why do you think your project also convinced the international jury? What is your opinion about it?
Well, of course, the one thing is that it was interesting challenge for us, because the base guideline from client was that we have to do something interesting exactly on Microsoft Teams platform, which is getting better and better, but it's not actually good platform to organize something interactive. And we took it as a big challenge, and we squeezed it out everything that could be squeezed. And it was like, we got a lemon, we will make a lemon. And on the other hand, it was also a client with big heart, and we can. I don't think that they expected that they will have such a big thing. But then when we came with proposal, with ideas, they embraced it, and they expanded the project. And at the end, I think everybody could be happy. But I still just, not to be over enthusiastic. I will say again what our creative director said at the presentation. It was our worst project for this client. The best online, but still,
Very good.
Because I think that at the end of the day, you have to be realistic and say that I think it was very good, very great, based that it was online and for internal public, but still the feeling and the experience of the people online were nowhere close to something which could be happen, live.
And what are the qualities or the values you would like to transfer to your events, Boštjan? So we are talking a lot about sustainability, and I will come to this point later on. But what are your values actually?
I hate the expression sustainability, really.
Okay.
Because it's so unclear at the time. Everything is confused with the ecology, with stuff like that. But I would say, from my point of view, I'm a very systematic guy. I'm very focused on the logistics. If we foreseen everything, we have planned everything. And if we are flexible enough to, overcome barriers when it comes. But I think that at the end of the day, these values transforms into sustainability in a way, because when you do stuff like that, you are covering everything, basically, what should be in sustainability. But if you start a project, we should be sustainable, then you usually finish in the bizarre things like, we will have 2 different types of baskets for garbage.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
I think you should focus on the content, on the message, on the client, on the participants, and to do everything perfect. And if you do stuff like that, you will anyway embrace everything which are from the field of sustainability, and do not talk about it too much, because it's, it's a for my side, it's a common sense to do stuff like that. No, it's not something you should be proud of it.
But watching your work, and I can say that I feel that you always wants to create a dialogue. This is what I see from your projects, always. And the last one was like that, and also the winning project from the last year, it was exactly the same. So what can you say about the dialogue we need to create? And this is, I used to say also that, and I'm repeating this nonstop, that our business is 80% of communication and 20% of production. But when I started few years ago, it was vice versa. It was 80% for production and 20% for communication.
I agree.
You agree with that? Yeah.
I think that the whole business about events grew with lots of potential. I would just, before I answer to your question, I will tell you a little bit anecdote from 12 years ago. I was managing director of one of the biggest agencies in Slovenia, and our creative director, I would say senior copy at the time, but still refused to work on the event. And he claims, I quote it, "I'm a copywriter, senior, I do not do events." But that was the zeitgeist of the time. They were not considered serious communication business, and now they are. And especially because the main trend was this one-on-one communications in any direction, in any way, with any tool. And events are a big part of this one-on-one, and that's why the content is now the king and not the production only. But to answer to your question at the beginning, I think that the basic starting point in events should be thinking about the participants, about the guests. And when you do that, you usually finish the project with something which is dialogue between them and between the hosts. Because in my experience, the biggest problem is when the event organizing team, both agency and client, are focusing, instead of the guest, they're focusing on their own products, their message, their management board, if they will be confident with this, or with human thing, like my goal with organizing the event is that everybody talks about me, that I was the best organizer. These are all wrong starting points, basically. When you're starting to do creative story about the event, with thinking about the guests, then you are on the right road. You finished with, of course, with dialogue. Some kind.
And in line with that, which competencies of event organizers need to be strengthened after the Corona crisis? What are you looking for in your agency? What kind of stuff is now really on the top of your priorities?
Okay, it's interesting to say, but designers and PR and web developers doesn't have anything to do with events. But I think that the reason behind is that we are kind of lucky because we were from the beginning full service agencies. And now I see that the projects are much more connected with each other. 1 decade ago, clients preferred specialty agencies, one for PR, one for digital, one for advertising, one for event. Now they don't do that anymore. And I think the goal of the event agency or any agency should be to be able to offer more services which are basically connected. Because when you do event, it's very connected to PR, it's connected to influencer marketing, it's connected to social, to video production, and the whole thing is basically one project. So you have to be able to offer client service of all those things, because otherwise the project is not coherent. If one event is run by 3 different agencies, specialized in 3 different fields, it's not so good as if one agency runs it.
Boštjan, what has been the most difficult event for yourself and your agency? What can you say about that? Huh?
Difficult point. I have one quite crazy story about the very bad event we did, and I don't want to talk about it. It was very difficult.
I understand.
You know, sometimes everything goes wrong. It happens.
Yeah.
But I think that basically the most difficult events are ones that have basic story, and we have to adapt it to our market. It's in a way harder to do it than if you start from the scratch, you know, from the blank page. And usually this is done for major international clients who have their own story, who have developed brand and have their very particular guidelines already done, but then you have to do it in the right way in your environment, with your production tool, with your budget, with your expertise you have. And I think that these projects are basically the hardest. And in a way, it's always a problem because you have two clients, basically, the local and the regional one. I would say it's like that.
And
otherwise,
I have a question here actually about pitching, you know, pitching for projects. Is it the same as it was before, you know, when we are talking about this, or it's still the problematic issue, you know? So, for example, if you pitch for a big event and you develop your ideas, you get paid for it or not, you know, that kind of question. No, not really, man. Yeah.
No, in last 3 years, Nova Ljubljanska banka and Ljubljanske mlekarne, I cannot recall the third one. Two clients that have paid not big money, but let's say, for example, at least you're covering some production costs and some stuff. And I hope I didn't forget about something, but I think these two were the only one in the last 2 years. I think that this whole pitch processes went crazy, and on the other hand, I don't see how can it be turned back, because we as industry are trying to teach clients that it's not optimum, but on the other way, the procurement procedures complying that this is a must, so it's a never going end. But it takes lots of energy on our side, and I always claim to our clients that they should consider that I work for clients who are paying our services. I don't have time to work, you know, on the pitches at the same quality. And then, you know, you have to do it. We are trying to go to as less as we can, but you know, it's never-ending story. I think that it could be much more optimal for clients to start to work, you know, only on price segment, on contract segment, and chemistry meetings, and meet agency, and you know, start to work with one, and you know, be very demanding, but still, you know, it's better than to waste time and energy on the pitches.
I really like when you say chemistry meetings. I insist in that. I really pitch.
Yeah, I met one. I probably it's not fair to mention him, but one guy from Slovenian agency did half a year of chemistry meetings, and then at the end of the half of year, he was very transparent, and he said, "I choose those 3 agencies. I will invite to projects."
Yeah, it's much better.
That was perfect for me.
Yeah, definitely. And
so smart for them also, because they now have list of top agencies for them, and they will work with them, and everybody's happy in a way. And it was, you know, from my side as an agency, I didn't waste 300 hours, but 40, 50. It's still a big difference.
And Boštjan, what are you reading, watching, listening at the moment?
I do too much Netflix. I hate it.
Oh, okay.
But when I jump into the series, I cannot stop. It's so crazy. No, the storytelling on the movie industry and series is too good. Well, but otherwise, I try to read. I enjoy reading. Everything's connected to adventure, history, sci-fi. I think that those authors are so great that always inspiring me, and building me some metaphors for real life.
Mm-hmm. We are in the same club, but if it is not a secret.
When you read Stephen King, then you know everything about small town politics and people.
Yeah. But Netflix, what are you watching now on Netflix? If it is not a secret.
I watched Schumacher.
Okay.
I was kind of disappointing. It's very boring in a way. It starts good with Senna, and then it's okay.
Do you like the artificial intelligence suggesting you some topics?
I hate it. This is the worst, because I will finish to watch only same thing over and over again.
Yeah, Narcos.
You see one series and they bullshit you with the same thing. I don't want to watch the same thing. But so you have to search. But I have watched The Crown, which was not my first choice, but girls in the agency insisted I should watch it. It was very interesting because I'm into history all over again, and it was very good connected with actual happenings at the time. Mm-hmm. And I really I like to watch this suspension adventure stuff, especially French and Russians have some great series. Into the Lake, Russian stuff. One with AI, also Russian. Interesting. Always watching in the original language with, of course, English.
Yes. Top. So we are coming to the end of this podcast, and now it's time for your questions. If you want to ask anything, raise your hand, and then we will include you into the debate. And of course, please turn off the microphones while others speaks. If there is no question, once again, Jan is not with us today because he's at home, he was COVID positive, unfortunately. Stay healthy, Jan, and safe. If there are no questions anymore, then of course I would like to thank you, especially you, Boštjan, for being with us. And stay tuned to LJUBLJANA Talks. We'll see you again in 14 days. Stay healthy, and we hope to see you soon in person, everybody. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.